Hello and welcome to Live in the Prop Shop, episode 40. There's a whole universe, Steve. I'm taping the I'm taping the pattern back together because I ripped it on accident. There we go. I was trying to flatten it out and I destroyed it. I messed it up. That's my bad. We're making a sword. Just out of the way. Just so we can move on without explaining too many things. It's pretty much a cutlass based on the length of the blade. Right now we're just making the blade. It does not need to go into the tang like a normal sword. Sword, Uncle Ryan. Sword. Wait. Swords. Which is the second sword I will have made. Second sword, yeah. Hopefully one day I make a real sword. That's the goal. But right now this is like practice for form and whatever. Sword making. We need a silver marker for this darker foam. And it was somewhere down here, I believe. That's the white marker. There it is. Not silver, it's gold. I guess we're going gold, man. All right. We got the sword pulled up here as a reference photo. This is all good. It's not going to move. That's still really dark, this gold. Did I have a silver one? Or do I just have like gold? I wonder if black on black shows up really well. Oh, black works perfectly fine. Nice. It's pinned in two places at the end, so it does not totally shift the entire sword. I already broke the pattern once. I'd hate to break it twice. We really just want a rough outline because of how much we're going to have to sharpen the sword. So and by sharpen, I mean bevel the end so it just looks like it could cut something. And I know it's definitely not perfectly straight. It thins out toward the end. And I think a cutlass gets thicker towards the end, technically. So I did no sword research. This is just based on pirate movies I've seen. I'm making assumptions. I'm pretty sure this sword, however, is the same length all the way through. All right, that's one side. Down. Wow, that looks so faint. I can just barely see it. I just want to add a bit more black. I'm going to do a lot of sanding no matter what, but I mean, cool. There's first pattern. Boom. We're going to do the second pattern also. Yeah, sort of Captain Sparrow. I hope it turns out that well. Captain Sparrow is certainly somebody I can't quite act like. Not yet. But people that do Captain Sparrow as like a impression, Jack Sparrow, do it really well. There we go. Where'd I put the other pin? There it is. Jeez, last thing I want is these little friggin' pins. I flipped it, right? So one side's like this. I need to flip the pattern so it's right. Blah. There we go. I always forget that. The other side needs to be the same but opposite. They can't both be the exact same. So it has to flip. You have to flip the pattern on the second half in order to make it right. When you put the two halves together, yeah. Nope. I hit the mouse by accident. Stay on this page. Yeah, just act drunk. Just act drunk. I don't know if I can do a drunk. Yeah, stay on the page. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know how well my drunk is. How good my drunk is. Oh boy. That uprooted this. I need a little bit of light just so we can I gotta make sure I use the really dark. On the edge, I'm on the edge of my seat here, man. There we go. Same but different, but same. All right. Now we get to cut this. This keeps thinking I want to leave the page. I do not want to leave the page because this is my show sort of going on here. Click stay on page. All right, cool. Now the fun part, you got to take the knife. Don't need to wait anymore. We lost the knife somewhere in the sea of stuff. Don't really need the pattern anymore. There's the knife. I see it now. Sharpen that bad boy up. You got, I don't know how many times I got to say, I got to spit on the stone. It's a wet stone. You got to spit on it to sharpen stuff. It may seem gross, but you're not the one spitting on it, so don't worry about it. It's not like you're licking the stone. There we go. A little bit of back and forth. Get that blade nice and razor sharp. Turn on the light so we can perfectly see the pattern. And then cut it out to the best of our ability. Boom, extra. Oh. I can already tell we're gonna need to do a lot of sanding. Hand is not as steady as I thought it was gonna be. What's under it? I will do my best not to. It's just a cutting mat anyways, at least. There's one big long strand cut out. There's half the blade. The second, this is probably the most important one, is the head. To get that shape right. And I would say we aced the shape right there. I'd say we got that boom. The other piece of foam. Oh yeah, the other piece of foam. Yeah, we really should move that out of our cutting space. That's a good, very good point. Ugh. Cut through that and ruin that whole piece. That'd be ugh, a nightmare. We would just have to redo that side. Oh, there is one side of the sword with its rough cuts. This is what's going in the middle. So it's about the length of our sword. It's gonna be a big blade. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. With that, about that much of a handle. And this would leave room for the cup, the handguard protector, and then the pommel. We have plenty of room for all that jazz. All right, once again, moving that piece of foam out of there. We're gonna start this time with the top. Oh, wow. All right, trying to get my hand not shaky. Boom. Perfect, like always, because I'm perfect. Not really. Definitely not. That was not a humble brag. That wasn't even really a brag. It was just a bold-faced lie. See, I'm like sweating trying to get this sword relatively straight. I even wussed out a little there on the end. I left a little room for error. Bottom of the knife was twisted. Bottom of the knife sounds like bottom of the ninth, like a baseball term. Ooh, wow, that was, we totally just did a huge squiggly right there. That was bad. Ugh. We did it anyways, and we're past that part in our life, so it doesn't really matter. This is very hot. We need to let that light cool off. It has a bad habit of overheating. Flip, flop. We're gonna sand all the imperfections away anyways. We're just doing this so we can take away the bulk of the foam so we don't have a ton of sanding dust on our hands. That is truly why we are even doing this. Oh boy. You know, that's actually a really good idea, and it was kind of on my list for a while because I would use these engineering rulers for cutting, and they're made out of plastic, and sometimes when I would cut, I would take chunks out of the ruler. Like, I don't even know if you can tell, but on this side it's missing a lot, like some little nicks here or there, or like kind of whoop, little pieces like that. Yeah, I 100% agree. I need to get a metal ruler so bad. It's not a very school supplies thing. It's definitely for people that do woodworking or other, I don't want to call it woodworking craft, because when you call it a craft, like it is a craft, but it's not like a craft. You know what I mean? It's not like a arts and crafts craft. It's just a craft. I don't say craft so many times. It's going to sound weird. Anyways, blah. Done with both of these wobbly ends. Next up, we're going to heat them, flatten them. You know, we're going to just like forged in steel. Man at arms. Forged in fire. That's what it's called. Forged in fire. Ah, memory. Terrible today. All right. Forged in fire. Fellow artist. I wouldn't call myself an artist. I would call myself, you can for sure 100%. I believe you're an artist. I haven't seen anything, I guess. Maybe that's disbelief, but I would call myself a failure who eventually gets it right. It's just like if I mess up enough times, it'll look good by the end. My goal is to not mess up with this because we're 20 minutes in and you can see I already got gray hair because of how stressful it was to just cut that. That is true. A thin, yeah, right. I actually ended up buying metal. And I don't even know why I did that because it was at Menards and it was $5. And I'm like, we have so much metal at home. And you're buying metal like an idiot. That's all I could think after I bought it. I'm like, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pieces of scrap metal, more than you could ever possibly want at home. And here you are buying metal. I'm going to sand down just the edges, so both edges, because on the edges we're going to put these pieces, which are going to add enough mass, because in the middle is going to go this PVC rod, which is about the size of these pieces. It's going to add a nice bowing to each side. So we're going to sand down just the edges of all of this stuff. And then, oh, and then of course, we're not going to sand down the quote unquote true edge until we get everything put on. So we're going to do a really rough sanding, putting these guys on each end. And I cut up, because we only want to do one layer on one of these, 1.5. So they almost reach the end here, as you can see, which is why I thinned out another one. So it can totally go all the way around the rest. So awesome. This right here, though, has a little curve at the end, so we're going to make this the end right here. So we're probably going to do the ends like this, add a piece here, and then add two, it looks about 5-ish, 5.5-inch pieces right there. Nice, cool. So we're going to sand down the insides of these. Because there's this pattern, it's easier to sand down the inside and then make two halves that are on the normal side look better. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sand down those insides. So we're going to do this guy. Oh, there's going to be so much dust, so I might as well just put this guy on. And then it's going to be loud, and it's going to take a while to finish up everything. So if you want to clock out for like 5 minutes while I do all this, feel free, because it's going to take a bit. Oh, gonna wait here. Oh, gonna wait right there. That's how you use your head. Okay. Well, I don't have any schooling. Actual art school is much farther than I'm gonna get, like, because is totally like the actual art school is already out of my league. So we're gonna start sanding. All right, let's do it. So that is, wow, that is one side with the edges sanded out. That took a little while. Then we're gonna do the other thing. 24-inch stainless steel. All right, sweet. Hey, if it can last 14 years, and that's awesome. So I'm gonna have to buy it to get it then. A 2-foot long ruler. It's pretty much perfect too. I mean, technically this is a 3-ish foot sword, but obviously it's not going to be just used for swords. It's going to be used for everything. So that's actually a pretty sweet deal. All right, we have that piece sanded. I can see a little few touch-ups I'm going to do really quick before we start on the second piece. So let's do that. Woo! Let's get ready. Let's get steady. Let's do it. I'm ready to go. I just realized something that we should do. While we're sanding this piece, we should plastidip this, not plastidip, gosh, that's way, way, way far out in the future. I'm saying we should contact cement this side and get these pieces on there. So that way, once we're done sanding this, we can contact cement it again and then get it measured out. So actually, the handles are roughly the same size, but I want to grab out the piece, the master here. I like how it's like a little scroll. And I need to measure out the handle from the bottom to where it should be. Let's grab a Sharpie. And then we can nice. So that right there is where the handle is going to be. It's that's enough room for a handle. It's a little bit bigger than my fist width, and the sword is for a girl anyway, so the hand's going to be smaller. And then there's enough room for a pommel, and if we make it a little bit bigger here, there's enough room for the handguard. So perfect amount of space. So we're going to take this and we're going to cut about where that is. So we're going to put that at the highest, not quite the highest point, but where it should be on the sword. So like that. And then get the ruler. Gosh, take these back here. There we go. There it is. There it is right there. Put this there. Cut it off right there. Sweet. So we're going to cut it there. Then we're going to start whatevering. We're just going to use a scissors because we're a savage. We don't want to have to totally eyeball that. What a savage, using a freaking scissors. Oh my gosh. Throw that down there. That's terrible. Cool. So we're going to contact cement these sides, let that dry. This side too. Try to get off all these little fuzzies. So we're going to do the bottoms. Yeah, we're going to make sure we're going to do both bottoms here, because that'd be easiest to line it up with. I'm going to do that, this and that. Keep keeping the thinner end toward me. All right, sweet. Let's do it. We just need this guy because there's no dust bits flying in our face when we contact cement stuff. That was a totally necessary thing to do. Just so you know, there was some stuff on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal up both sides with heat so it closes the pores. The reason that's important is the contact cement will kind of seep into and fill out the pores, which means it's not going to be on the surface, it's going to be more inside. So this will help keep the contact cement more on the surface with a little bit of heat seal. That way, it'll have a better grip. And we're just going to do both sides of this. All four sides, actually. We're going to do all four sides because that'll be easy. Nice. That one. There we go. Make sure there's no little bits in my water. Nice. Actually, just before any little bits fall in there, I'm going to dump my water in a water bottle. I've eaten enough, drank enough water in the shop to know a closed lid water bottle is a smart way to go. And I broke a mug last week because I shoved it off the floor and it hit the basement cement. So going with this, it's got a little flipper deal. See, look at that. Closed water bottle, the little mouth thing seals up. Don't have to worry about getting any dust bits in my system. Whip it. Whip it good. Thank you, Uncle Ryan. All right, cool. Now we're gonna run a contact cement. Let's do it. right, sweet. That was a little nick. That was not a really painful whatever reaction. That was just a knee-jerk freak out. That was total overreaction. That was not meant to look like I got hurt. I did not get hurt. Totally fine. Yeah, totally fine. I'm good. I'm fine, yeah. This stuff, how is this stuff doing? That's still a little wet. Wet right there. Gonna heat that up a little. Make it dry a little faster. Little tip. I don't want it to be totally dry. Just want it to dry a little faster. We do not need this sander guy for a while. Man. Grabbing that piece. I gotta look at the reference photo again, just to keep it fresh in the mind. There it is. Good old cutlass, good sword. Good looking sword, man. I'd say we're about ready on this piece. Really close. All right. I want to try to line up these edges as best we can. Oh, that's getting too far down the line. There we go. All right, awesome. That's one side pretty much down. Beautiful. That's just beautiful. Ah. Get to know each other. Be a little more at home. Be more comfortable with your fellow foam pieces. Yeah. That's not going to go in super straight, so I don't know how well that's going to be held in. That was just more of a, I didn't really get hurt. I was just freaked me out. It just caught a little nick. And sometimes I just, I know. It's not very right. Uh, Although I was doing the absolute safest thing, and that was not wearing gloves, because wearing gloves, messing with that kind of machinery, gets your hand caught and stuck, and you might lose a finger. That is what I have learned. Don't wear gloves unless it's like fencing or you need to protect your hands. Like really, the best protection you can do with your hands around machinery is not wear gloves, because it will get sucked right in some of that stuff, like in a PTO or whatever else. Yeah. I'm going to keep that up because I just want it to be over with. All right. We have to do this one like this because we messed up. I messed up really badly. This side is going to look a little weird, but that is fine. I know what that looks like. It's like, stay. Staying alive. Yeah, I know. But what we're doing is we're just making sure that this is totally connected, getting well acquainted, all that good jazz. That's perfect. So that's not going to fit super snugly in there. So what am I going to end up doing is the question. Probably covering some of it with foam and then contact cementing it down. That's the honest answer, because it's true. I mean, no, he is talking to my sister who just joined the chat. She is going to college. Sorry if there's any confusion. Yeah, Dara. Good old Dara. Isn't she just perfect? She's just great. She's awesome. She's so much better. That was some thinly veiled, not criticism, but jealousy, probably. I don't know. Ah, my phone. So let's see how this piece is going to connect here. That's going to be good. I'm not jealous. I'm never jealous. Jealousy doesn't look good on me, as I'm told. That's perfect right there. Yeah, that's true. She never goes live on Facebook ever, so heckmate. I'm not jealous. I'm really not. I'm not jealous. I'm never jealous. I just got to make sure I get the right curvature with this. I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out facts. That's all I do. All right. These are our chunks to make the edge of the sword. I'm going to take a picture because I like work in progress photos. Work in progress photos are very important to me. It's also important I put them on both Snapchat and whatever else. Instagram. Gotta get that social media game up. Boom. Boom. Share. Because that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. We're going to heat seal these pieces. I'm going to mark the sides that need to go against the foam. That way I know what sides to cover. Now let's just heat seal all these guys right there. There we go, heat sealed. Sure. Excuses. That is what I'm hearing. Excuses, excuses. We're going to put on this long piece first. Then this piece. And then this piece last. Because I can already tell I need to cut off a little bit more. This piece, this piece, yeah, that works. That all works fine. This piece first, covering it, both sides, contact cements, safety. All right. We might as well do the whole thing. Gosh. Oh, and now we wait, Batman. Batman. In the deep dark lair of the Batman.
Hello. At first we break your spirit, and then your body. Oh, I was born into darkness, molded by it. You merely adapted to dark. You merely adapted to the darkness. I was born into it, molded by it. That's my Bane impression. It's very easy once you have the mask on. To truly get the Bane, you have to shave your head completely. Wear a big coat. Aha! Batman! Yeah, yes. I am the Dark Knight's doom. I am here to turn Gotham into darkness and blow up bridges and start fires and do such things because I'm evil or whatever. I don't know. In comic books, I'm a luchador, but in this movie, I'm a guy who sounds like a 4-year-old threatening the Batman. As these pieces dry, Batman shall eventually, he shall eventually perish. Goodbye, Batman. You will die. You will die, Batman. Batman's gonna die. No, Batman! Commit. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. There's no way. No way. I couldn't pull off Bane in like it's a reference. I mean it's a reference. It's a quote. You're really killing the vibe, the Bane vibe, Uncle Ryan. I mean, like it's the whole. Have you seen The Dark Knight Rises? Good movie. Anne Hathaway plays the Catwoman. Yeah. Why you gotta spoil the joke like that? Whatever. What? I'm done. Whatever. I don't even care anymore, Batman. This piece is almost dry. It shall be the first to go on, Batman. Kind of clean it up a little bit. It's a bit hot. There's so much extra on the top here. Shoot. Well, there you have it, Batman. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I did continue the impression for probably a little too long, a little bit. Break out into the I did not go into the. He's like, yeah. That's like the Penguin's got the eyeglass. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they're supposed to. Ow. Ooh, ah. I hate trends. Ugh. Anyways, we're gonna do a little bit of super glue to tighten up these ends here. We got to clean it out.
sometimes super glue freezes into itself. Or I mean dries, really. I would always, oh my gosh. Cleaning out the super glue just broke the knife. GG. Good job. Nice try. I mean, not nice try, because you actually did beat me. Congrats, super glue thing. There we go. Breaking off the stuck pieces. It's still not coming out. All right, there's two ends of it, drying with super glue, specifically foam super glue. That is one specific. This is foam only super glue, super gold, foam safe, gap filling glue, and it's odorless. Medium, 5 to 20 second dry time, 2 ounces, 56.7 grams. Cyanidinicolicylate. I nailed that pronunciation. Killed it. Oh, 9:59. Okay, we've been live for our hour then. Let's that doesn't feel stupid to do at all. I guess we're gonna probably call it quits here. I'm gonna finish super gluing up this side with the magical gap filling super glue. And that'll be it. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you all for stopping by, watching. Thank you to anybody who's watching later. If you watch later and comment, this is super late into the game to say, but if I'm no longer live and you comment, I'm not going to reply. Don't act like I mean, this is going to be long after the fact. So if you're watching it and you've already commented and you've gotten this far all the way to the end, you're going to be like, oh, he wasn't live. I don't know why I commented a thing, because he can't answer the question. So yeah, if it doesn't have the little red box, oops, shoot. The little red, there it is. The little red box right there in the corner, not live anymore. So I cannot answer questions or explain what I'm doing. Hopefully I explained well enough what I'm doing, so that way anybody who rewatches it is going to have a pretty good time. That is basically one side of the sword done, because then all we have to do is put the other side on top and sand it down like crazy. And once we do that, shoot, that's calling it quits right there. And then we're going to drill a little space, and we're going to start filling in the gap here for this PVC pipe to go through, so it fits nice and snug. You know, we want it to be a good fit. We want it to be a good fit. So that's it. Thank you all for coming out. I super glued my finger. Awesome. I absolutely love it. Adios. Adios.